Welcome everyone to this new podcast on building confidence in public speaking with Shruti Shivhare. Friends, we are really delighted to have Shruti here. Shruti is currently, she has multiple positions. She's holding multiple positions. She is AIDA director of Toastmaster International Club, taking care of both Indore and Bhopal district. She is also a lead HR business partner at Tata Consultancy Services. At the same time, she comes from a technical background. How much I know about her is that she has joined TCS as a software developer, and then after some time, she realized she felt, I would say, to go for higher education, and then she went on doing her MBA from IIM Nagpur, and after completing her, I think you did it parallelly, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So she did it parallelly while working for TCS. That was a weekend program in the executive MBA, and then she has taken up a new role of HR, and I think it's quite some time when she after she has taken up the HR role, and currently she is leading one of the business unit team of HRs in TCS, and is playing a phenomenal role. I have seen her. I know her achievements. So those are quite technical because those are internal to TCS. But yeah, one of the person who has been very senior, very sincere, and I would say very perfect. When it comes to doing things and taking initiatives. She's the one whom I have come across in one of the Toastmaster meeting. I would say that is 6 years back, and she's one face who is consistently in Toastmaster, have taken up different roles, and being the motivation and inspiration for different people joining the club, improving their communication, and and a very good person as a human being. I know her. She's a good friend as well. So very happy, Shruti, to have you here. And this platform is something where we are inviting people, who have different expertise, and they have worked into corporates, so that students who are uh, doing professional courses can take inspirations from, and can also understand how is your journey, because when we say somebody is today at some good position, we think, okay, their life must have been different. But if we go into detail, we also realize that they were also like that. They were also someone who also used to study at the last day. Okay, and many more. Okay, not just that. And maybe they have some ATKTs or bags also. So I think all sharing all these experiences, of our journey, our challenges, our own tips and tricks, to excel in our career will be of great use to all the students sitting here and the ones who would be watching this over the period of time later. So I think, Shruti, your expertise into public speaking and your journey so far will definitely guide a lot of people. So I always believe ki, when I introduce someone, I only talk about the tip of the iceberg, whereas the person is a lot, beneath that. So would like to hear your journey from you as well. So how it has been so far, and would appreciate if you can bring highlights to the small events which might not be those big, but still relevant to make you what you are today.
Sure. Okay. So, talking of my journey, I am somebody who is just born and brought up here itself in Indore. And I would like to start from the basic, or I would say the biggest dilemma of our life, what to choose as a subject. Okay. That comes across with all of us. And that's where I also took that decision. A decision that was something which I wanted to pursue. There also, I took PCM, and that's where I started with my journey being into, starting and pursuing the career. I also targeted IIT JEE, although it didn't happen, but there were some certain things which I wanted to achieve. So I chose electronics and communication as my branch. What made me do that is to pursue research in the further future field. Now, what happened next is I got my research paper published first time, and that's where in a conference, in an international one, where they asked me one question: how come you can pursue a research paper publishing while being just a part of a normal college? It's not a tier 1 or tier 2. And that was something which encouraged me more. So that's how it all started. After coming to TCS, the training itself, it's very, I would say, it's not very easier job. It's a roller coaster ride always. And I started my career in the technical background, as all most of the people do. How many engineers here? No one? Okay.
There is one, and there is
Okay.
one sitting
Okay.
up here.
So we have two in the room. So, as all others, I also struggled a lot because that was the first time when I was moving away from my home, and that was back in Trivandrum. Okay, so that was my initial learning program that I pursued, and that's where I attained the most of the learnings. It is something where you start, getting resilient towards things, and that's where I started coping up with my own fears. After coming back, I was deputed in Pune. I started working out there, and that's where I realized that how important it is to understand the essence of networking. And that's where you get into the actual picture when you are into the corporate ladder. So it all started from there, and when I came back to TCS Indore, it is something where I realized that there is just the monotonous work culture that is just going on. Now, what else I am doing to upskill myself? And that's where Toastmasters got introduced, and I became the part of it since July 2019 and kept on pursuing certain things or the other. Although it is something which is not very much, I would say, it's all out in the open, but this is something which actually keep on driving yourself. Okay, so I started with training people, I started with management. Whatever skills I used to learn as a technical person, I used to train my teammates, and that's where I realized that there is something which is more, it's having more inclination for me, which is the management skills. And that's where I pursued my MBA. And I went ahead with the IIM Nagpur's executive course, and it actually transformed the entire perspective in it itself. Because the faculties out there, the entire curriculum, it's all just the practical case studies. It's not something which you will learn as a concept and you will just write it in the examination. So that is something I would say a stepping stone where my entire life transformed. And that's where when I came back afterwards of doing that course, I actually see the difference in me. I became more, empowered with the things which I have pursued in the past. I became more confident, and that's where how the things align. Parallelly, also my work as in TCS, I would really thank my colleagues and the team who have been supporting me so that I was able to study and work parallelly, and that's where the entire things came in. And this is my whole journey. And now also, when I have taken up as the area director for District 98 Toastmasters International, it's actually empowering me on a day by day basis. So I see that you have to take baby steps. It's not something which you will all attain at once. This is something you have to go one by one. And that's where, yes, still I'm on the journey of my learning and growing. So that's majorly about it.
Interesting, Shruti. I think quite interesting. And for the first time, I think I have been hearing in a order. So lot of questions, honestly. Starting with the first one, you said you were not from so great college. You know, it was not a tier one or tier two college. And then when you presented your research paper in the international conference, they asked you how can you write a research paper not being from a tier one or tier two college. So what was your answer to them?
Okay. So my answer to that was that great things start from small, and that's where we should pursue our passion. Because doing and getting into research is my own choice. That is not nothing to do with my college. There we are getting empowerment. Our faculty is training us. We are getting the resources which is required. Then why not from that college? It's not something copyright for any particular set of I would say ecosystem. So
Correct.
that's where it was.
Wonderful. I think I also resonate with you. Doesn't matter which college we are from. It is more about interest and the skill set and the competency also. If you have it, I think you can still make your name on the the international platforms. Now, interestingly, I when you say that you got a big change after attending the initial learning program at TCS. So just for the ones who don't know, the students who get placed in TCS as engineer, they go through a rigorous training program, okay, for 3 months, and their learning center is in Trivandrum, okay, which is in Kerala, and that is very rigorous, and it is also in the southern part of India. So it's altogether a very different experience for everyone who joins TCS, and it is very transformative, right? Many people leave the company also. I have heard that, correct? I was an HR joinee, so we had a different training, but yeah, that was
Yeah.
also very profound. So tell me one thing which got improved from that training, which was not there. We'll move step by step to your in your journey. So one thing, that you could develop from that training.
So one thing, if I have to reflect back on that, is I would say my biggest learning was I improved on my emotional quotient.
Hmm.
I was able to cope up with my emotions better when I came back,
Hmm.
because first time when you are left alone, and that too 2300 kilometers from your
Hmm.
own native,
Hmm.
it becomes difficult, and
Hmm.
that's where you are not going to get anybody to handhold you
Hmm.
or take you up or give that backing.
Hmm.
That's where you start actually coping up with it on your own. And I
Hmm.
was able to see that there were multiple things that go on there, while because sometimes you will succeed, sometimes you will enjoy, sometimes, but you will actually feel that void that is there because of you not being at your native, or I would say not being in your own territory, right?
Correct.
And that's where I was able to come back more stronger, and I was able to understand that yes, I do have these capabilities as well, which can help me grow to another level.
Wonderful. I think this is a learning for all of us. All of us have certain areas of improvement, and we can work on it to an extent with our own training and doing different courses. But when you join a company, when you go through their training program, it will also help you to upgrade and to work on those areas which you are not able to address now. Okay, so joining a big company and attending a training program, I think, brings a huge transformation in you. So I think the same happens with Shruti as well. Now, Shruti, moving on, see, technical joining TCS and being in a technical role. So as we see, technical role is something which which you must have given some time to understand the role, and then learning those skills, those tough languages, and then you have worked there, and then you decided to go for an management degree, and that too in HR. So what made you to shift from a technical role to even think of going for HR?
Okay. So since start, I had this that I can keep on learning new things, and the more it comes, I will feel challenged and I will be able to conquer it.
Hmm.
So I started with the normal backend development, like all of others who are there into
Hmm.
that positions they do.
Hmm.
I started with that, and that's where I started understanding that there is too much demand in cloud in the market.
Hmm.
That's where I started learning the core technologies for that and working on the actual ecosystems for
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
cloud service
Hmm.
providers.
Hmm.
And that's where I started gaining certain skills. And I was actually pushed by my manager to go ahead and train the rest of the team, since you have acquired a certain skill.
Hmm.
And while training them, I was able to understand that I'm finding more interest in seeing how I manage bigger teams, or how I inculcate a certain sense of knowledge to the others.
Hmm.
And that's where I understood that technical is
Hmm.
something which I am at a good scale.
Hmm.
But I want to further pursue
Hmm.
my own passion, or I would
Hmm.
say my inclination towards
Hmm.
management.
Hmm.
And that's where I understood that being a people's person, I will be able to justify my field transitioning into HR. And that's where I took that decision. And yeah.
Wonderful. I think this clearly illustrates that how do you identify your actual passion or interest. So, like Shruti said, she started as a technical person, but उसकी इतनी अच्छी कमांड थी कि उसके मैनेजर ने उसको बोला कि आप दूसरे टीम मेंबर्स को भी सिखाओ, और दूसरे टीम मेंबर्स को सिखाते हुए उस टीम को मैनेज करते हुए शी रियलाइज्ड हर मैनेजमेंट स्किल्स, and which gave her the inspiration कि technical में तो वो अच्छी है, but management is something that she can also do, and that is what made her to go for MBA IIM program for IIM Nagpur. So Shruti, honestly, uh, working in an IT company itself is very stressing. You have a lot of work, and then you actually you like definitely you must have given an entrance also, right, to get into IIM, and then doing a course that too from IIM and that too a regular one. You know how your life have been. मतलब यहाँ पे हम बच्चों को कुछ homeworks देते हैं, assignments देते हैं, and you know it is very difficult for them to do, right? और आई ऑलवेज थिंक कि भाई ऐसा कैसे होता है, बट यू वर वर्किंग इन एन IT company with all work, and then you were doing a course from IIM, not from any other average college. So IIM is known for their rigorous schedule, their timelines, their hecticness, correct? So
Definitely.
मतलब how your life have been and how did you manage that?
Okay. So pursuing an MBA, that was again a dream for me, because when you are working in an IT company, you are already into a role. There, every deployment, every delivery, it's too crucial. You cannot really think of anything else. But there was this, something at the back of my mind that I have to pursue a PG. So I was still confused into whether should I pursue my technical only or should I proceed with it. So this is when I started preparation for CAT. It started with that, and then afterwards of my work schedule, I used to come back, and it was all self study. I was not having any time, in fact, to go to a institute to get the learnings and everything. It was all self study, I would say. So it was something which also came up with the a pace which I was able to cope up with, and that actually helped me a lot. I used to come back and start with my study schedule and all of these things. But then there came a time where I thought of that, okay, now it is not going to happen. I just gave the exam and I was just awaiting results. And that's where I got the result. After getting the results only, it again came to me that, okay, something can be happening. I got a 93 percentile in CAT. And that's where I was able to understand that, okay, now there is something which can happen. And again, I started my search of colleges, what course I have to pursue, and all those things. But then I realized getting an on job experience and also studying is also parallelly important, right? You cannot be just sitting in to study, but rather not doing, because when you are once into the corporate ladder, you want to grow up. I don't wanted to take a break, and that's where I started looking out for role for the transitioning. I am really thankful to the TCS management, also my own team, colleagues and managers who have been supportive enough to actually allow me to study as well. So there also it was not an easy task. Of course, when I look back now, it seems really difficult even again to pursue it. So at that time, I used to manage my work in such a manner that I close it off in the work schedules. It should not be extended. If it is extended also, then I have to dedicate the required time to my studies also. So afterwards, again, what I did for my entrance, I was doing it on job. So after that, I transitioned into the HR role. I got myself settled into the course also started. It was an on-campus program. I used to, came back after work and then, do all the things which has to be done at the household, because there I was living alone. And afterwards of that, I used to schedule and sit. I would say group study also helped a lot. My peers who were doing it, they all were also having into the, they were all sailing in the same boat. So we all used to do the group studies, and that's where it helped me. And yeah,
So
I
all the
was
batchmates were also in
correct.
the course
Yeah,
were
yeah,
from
yeah.
working professional. तो श्रुति थोड़ा और बताइए डीप में आपका शेड्यूल कैसे होता था, like what time you used to finish your work and what was the IIM schedule you have, so that we get more clarity कि like how was it?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I would say my shift timing was 10 to 7. So I used to start in the morning. It started at almost 5:30. Because 5:30, why? Because I have to prepare my home also
5:30 morning.
in the morning.
Okay.
So 5:30 morning, I used to wake up, and what I used to look at it, what is the preparation that I have to go and do for my classes. So whatever are the classes scheduled for this weeks, we used to do and study some case studies out. You need to do that preparation, and then only you can appear, because those case studies are a part of discussion when you study. And of course, all the MBA students would resonate with this. So I used to do that reading work in the morning, because otherwise, when you are sleepy at night, you cannot read through. So I used to do that, and afterwards of that, 7. So I used to give that 1.5 hours, 5:30 to 7, to read through that, and 7 I used to start preparing for office and doing all what is required. So 9 a.m. I used to board the bus, and that is something, a travel time which is required. So that's where I started. And even in the office, I always used to keep my case study modules, anything that has to be referred, any I would say assignments that I have to work on, all of them were always with me. So whenever I used to get some time which I have to, I am coming out from my break or anything else, I used to dedicate that time, even if it's just 10-15 minutes, because apart from that, you do not get in a office schedule. So after that, 8 p.m. I used to came back. So 7 to 8 again, I used to travel and all of those things. Multiple times during the travel time also, I used to connect over calls and discuss if there are any discussions that has to happen. And 8 p.m. I used to start back. And again, I would say 9:30. I used to start with looking at what has to be given, all the emails, the assignments that has to go. And there, I would say deadlines or timelines becomes of very, very crucial. The moment you miss it, you are gone. There is no second chance to that. So that is something, when you say rigorous schedule, okay, it is actually rigorous. You have to be very, very specific on the timelines when you are giving it. So I used to again work on it, and then we used to get on calls with the further other peers and colleagues, and start to do that group study part of it, preparation of exams. Again, everything has to be done. So yeah, that was majorly it, and I used to end almost by, I would not quote in my sleeping time, because it was almost 12, 1, whatever it is, as per the requirement. So yeah,
And you
that's
did that
majorly.
for 2 years.
Yes.
2 years, guys. 5:30 to
And
1.
weekends also, it was all like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the classes were. So classes time was also a very, I would say long one. So it used to start at, 6 in the Friday. And then
6 in the morning, evening.
evening
Evening,
after
6.
office. So 6:30 the classes used to start, and it used to be there till 10. And then
On campus, yeah.
yeah, on campus.
6
And
to 10. 6 to
Saturdays and
10.
Sundays, it used to be like 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, depending on what is the availability
Schedule.
of what is the schedule. So yeah,
Right.
so weekends also were completely dedicated to that.
So all those who think that they are getting, tired and exhausted by doing some extra courses after college, you can imagine, what Shruti has been through. And then what happens if you miss a timeline in IIM, like if not submitting the assignments, like what is.
So basically, I would say, it used to came up as a penalty only, because you are not going to get that back. So what we used to do is to do it in advance itself. So we never used to wait for the last moment. We used to do it, at least one day prior, so that we don't have to really look at that, because it's also being into the vegetation, digitization world. It has to be typically uploaded into that particular I would say app that was there by that timeline, else it will automatically close. There is no reconsideration that you will mail it separately or come back and all of those scenarios.
Okay, okay,
So
interesting.
yeah, that is there.
Superb. So, Shruti, like, if you have to say a few things about what you best like about IIM, studying into IIM, what would be that you felt, okay, this was the best part of, doing a course from IIM, executive course from IIM?
Okay, I would say the practical implications of what you study there. It's too realistic that whatever actual challenges you face in the industry, it is all getting taught up to there. So it's all related to the real world scenarios. Whatever we are facing here in the industry, you can find a solution there, or either ways, vice versa. Whatever strategic plans you are making there, for let's suppose an example of a case study, if you are just trying to plan a business plan that can realign their business structure and that can help them get revenue, you can implement it in the industry. So that kind of realistic approach, and I would say the faculties out there, that's something which is really good. There you will find the senior most faculty also so technically efficient that you cross question yourself. Okay, are you really that much efficient? So this is something, the standards that has been set, and that's where the difference of a B school comes into picture. So I was able to get that. So that is something which I enjoyed the most. That what I'm learning there, I was able to apply it here, and yeah.
Okay, so I think Shruti also reiterated the same thing, which I have also emphasized over a time, that you have to see the practical applications of what you are studying, because that is the only thing that will help you in the corporate world. Nobody look for theories. People look for practical applications, what you have learned, and what problems you can solve from your knowledge that you have gathered in your course whichever you have done. Okay, so that is the most important thing. Yeah. So Shruti, like we have come through, technical role, then IIM. Now, like after IIM, what is the difference that you saw in yourself coming back to the work again, and then the transition from technical role to HR role, how that has been through, and yeah, tell us something about that.
Okay, so after I would say, first and foremost thing is that I started reimagining the problems. Okay, when it's a scenario which we are facing at work, or if it's across like a personal professional life, wherever I am facing it, I start to look towards that. You would have heard that theory of half glass full and half glass empty. So I have started looking at the half glass full, because that has also set my own standards, that if you are able to pursue all the things parallelly, then of course now you can reimagine of what is coming in. And I would say it's just the moment that we actually decide to quit, or rather to pursue it. So that's where it has shaped my entire experiences now on. So anytime at work also, if there is a challenging situation, I am somebody who wants to don't do it like a normal phase, but I would want to explore something which has not been done yet. So this is something I would say a major transformation, because otherwise we always are stuck in the problem statement itself. We never try to go beyond that. We are like, this is too big, we cannot, definitely can't conquer it. But when you start looking at it that at least half of it you can conquer, go ahead with that. That's something which is a major
So
learning for me.
basically, the problem solving attitude that you have integrated while doing your MBA become an habit,
Yes.
and that also get triggered, at work also. So basically, friends, if you are somebody who is finding problems and figuring out a solution at this point of time, trust me, it would be a habit. And when you go ahead in your career, you would use the same and excel. Okay, wonderful, Shruti. So now, Shruti, coming back to your this side of your career, the Toastmaster Club. So, what went you to firstly go for Toastmaster, and what made you to improve your public speaking skills, and what is the Shruti before joining Toastmaster, and how you have improved it, what worked for you? So, just throw us some light on that.
Okay. So I would say that since childhood, I was somebody who was a introvert person, who,
Introvert.
yes,
Okay.
who never used to speak. And it's as simple as that, that within the classmates also, I never used to speak. And this is something which I shared with my parents, that nobody really bothers of where I am in the class, because you will definitely not make friends if you do not interact, right? And that's where I was getting the solution at my home itself. My father used to come and debate with me on various point of views, various topics, and that's where I started speaking, at least to a, like, I would say what is necessary. I started with that. And if I talk about how Toastmasters it came in, so I was at a level where in engineering, or I would say in my higher classes also, I was able to do good presentations. I was always confident about it, and that was something when I was introduced to the concept of Toastmasters. I was like, I am good at presentation skills. Why would I need Toastmasters? And then somebody, the then president of the club, he asked me to come and join the meeting for once. And I joined the meeting, and the first time I was doing the role of timer there. And that's where I understood I was completely nervous. And I realized that what kind of structure, what kind of discipline, what kind of skills the entire set of people who were present in the room, they were showcasing. And then it all started. I started joining as guest, and then I became a member of it. And that's where I started to see that there are gaps, there are areas of improvement that you also need to work upon.
So the more you know, the more you realize that how less you
Exactly.
know, right? The
Yes.
same thing happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's where it all started. I was assigned a mentor, and that's where the mentor also started, I would say, refining what I used to write as a content to be delivered as a speech. And that's where I also understood that yes, there are gaps, there are areas of improvement, but how can I turn them into strength? That is something which Toastmasters helped me a lot. I was able to frequently go and speak. I was able to express myself, And also there I was able to get the evaluations, which is helping me to see that okay, what are the areas of improvement which you can work upon. You are also getting suggestions and solutions of what can be implemented as a strategy for overcoming that. Because I have also came up with a theory after being into Toastmasters is that committing mistakes is good. Do it. That's the ground for you to commit mistakes. Don't feel shy about it. But repeating them is not something which is a very good act which you should do. So I would say commit mistakes, do them and learn from it, and then again do not repeat it. And that's where your growth will start. So that's majorly about
Oh,
it.
beautiful. So committing mistakes is fine. Repeating them is something, we should think about. Not easy. I must tell you this because I heard this quote before, also, and I liked it. And then I myself have committed mistakes multiple times. So I know that it's not easy and something, where when it is about changing a certain aspect of your personality, it is not easy. It is not easy. You are sometimes even not conscious, that something is coming into play from you, despite you knowing that you should not do it. Okay, interesting. So, Shruti, you and me know Toastmaster Club. I think for our audience, can you just explain in simple terms what is Toastmaster? I think that would also give them some understanding.
Okay. So Toastmasters International, it's actually a not-for-profit organization. It's an educational organization which helps people improve on their public speaking, communication, and leadership skills. Also, it comes up with an added advantage of networking because in that room, in that particular set of ecosystem, it's all the people who are there, all the like-minded set of people who are ready to learn. There, nobody is going to judge you on whether you are committing mistakes, why you are doing this. There is no such obligations, I would say, and you actually learn the most, in those ecosystem. Even the founder of it, actually, he mentions that, Ralph C. Smedley, he says that you learn the most in the moments of enjoyment, and that's what we are there for. So it's the entire essence of it. You are learning there, but in a fun-filled manner, where you are getting support of your peers who are also on their journeys, and your mentors are there who can teach you and take you take you through from that journey where you are proceeding up to. So that's majorly about it.
Perfect. So, Shruti, I think so. Since you have a huge experience, being with Toastmaster, and then you are also a mentor, and then you are an area director. So, I will ask you some common problems जो बच्चों को आता है when it comes to public speaking,
Sure.
and from your experience of your own और जितने भी लोगों के साथ आपने काम किया है, वो problems को कैसे conquer करना है या कर सकते हैं. Just give us some tips. Okay, so starting with when it comes to public speaking, the first thing that happens with most of us is fear, nervousness, shivering. Okay, we forget what we have prepared, what to say. So इसको कैसे मतलब manage कर सकते हैं.
Okay. So this reminds me of a fact that I read through. So it said that the fear of public speaking is the second highest fear across the globe after death.
Which is the first one or death? Okay.
Yeah. So after death, the fear of public speaking is the one which prevails across. And when you talk of that, this nervousness, shivering, all of it comes. I also remember my first inter-school competition where I was supposed to give a 10 minutes long presentation. So now you imagine you have an audience full of like hundreds of students sitting out there, all prepared, and they are all your competitors, and you have to present yourself for 10 minutes non-stop. You have to speak. So that becomes very difficult, right? And what strategy I followed there is I was not really looking in the eyes of each one of the audience members, but rather looking at the last wall of the room. So this is something which is very important. And I would just relate it to a principle, and that is something which is, where deviation works. You need not be really thinking of the exact ecosystem, but rather think of something else which is not there. Any which ways you have to address them, and you are doing that particular part. But the more you think of that, okay, I'm not good at it, this is all mindset. Okay, the entire game changes when you decide that, okay, no matter what, no matter if the audience is shouting, the moment you start speaking, it will be a pin drop silence. And that's where the magic of words work. So yeah. That's, I would say, that you have to, just deviate yourself from the fear. I would say, do that root cause analysis. Is it something that the audience people, when you look at them, they are creating that fear? Is it something that you just because become nervous because of less preparation, then prepare well? So it depends completely on how, what is the root cause of that particular issue. It depends on the case to case basis.
Correct.
So yeah.
I think that is one of the good advice that I have heard from other people as well. That if you are, somebody who is new to public speaking, don't look at the audience eyes. Don't look at the audience eyes. Look at the last wall, so that it feels like you are watching everyone. At the same time, you are not doing an eye contact, because what will happen if you do an eye contact? Maybe you get diverted by that you will get diverted, and your thought process will go somewhere else, and that is where you will get stuck. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing she mentioned is that we should not think about too much, that I have to give a speech, I have to give a speech, I have to give a speech. You should again think about something else. For example, this podcast is going on, right? I am not conscious that I'm doing a podcast. I'm just sitting here, listening to Shruti and finding out some questions which can be useful for you. That's it. The moment I get conscious about, there is a podcast, there is a camera,
Yes.
I will not be comfortable, trust me. And if you want to be a good speaker, you should be comfortable. That is very, very important. Okay, so two things, two takeaways. One is look at the wall if you are a new speaker. Second is think about something else. Don't think about that you have to give a speech. Perfect. श्रुति, बट स्टिल मतलब है ना, डिविएट करना भी थॉट्स को इतना आसान नहीं होता है. वी कैन से कि ठीक है, डिविएट कर लो, कुछ और सोच लो, बट इट डजंट हैपन सो इजीली. करेक्ट?
Yes.
या, सो व्हाट टू डू अबाउट इट?
Okay. So then I would say preparation is the key. Okay. Because I understand that if, let's suppose, you are appearing in an interview, there you don't get 100 people audience. There it's just one or two interviews, but then to the same effect comes in. So this shows that it's not just only public speaking, but where you are lacking is interaction. And how will you become confident in that interaction is that you should be sure of, even if, let's suppose, you only prepare 2 sentences of it. Okay, I even don't believe in preparation of sentences, only the bullet points. But then those bullet points which you are talking of, you should be clear enough that excellent you are into, and I would say XYZ, any question can be asked out of that. You will be able to compel with it, you will be able to come out of it, and you will be able to answer it. And that's where preparation is the key, as we say, right? So you need to be expert in what you are going to deliver. Otherwise, it is definite that you will keep on coming back. And second, I would say I have seen many people who prepare a lot, but again they are not able to deliver. Now, why did that happen is because they only stick to what has been written as their script or a content. Now you tell me, does the audience know what you have written? Does your person whom you are at, who is at the receiver's end, are they with you in your preparation? No, right? It's only you who is remembering that I have missed that point. Who else is knowing about it? The moment you stop, it actually triggers more. So continuity is also important when you are speaking. You should not take long pauses or start thinking over there on the stage. It becomes difficult for you. So I would say consistency and preparation is important.
This is very rightly said. Our speech is only known to us. Audience never know ki what you have prepared. So even if you miss something, only you will realize that you have missed something. Others don't know. You can say thank you, or you can jump on some other point. Who knows? You have missed
Exactly.
something. Correct? Right? Unless and until it is like a known thing to everyone, and that happens in school, not at least to
Yes.
at college level. Okay, wonderful. Makes sense. Shruti, there are a lot of students, who also find English as a challenging language. Okay, and then they get into a dual struggle. Okay, one is of public speaking at a stage fear. Secondly, to articulate their views into English. Maybe there is a consciousness about committing any grammatical mistake, or not choosing the right word, or maybe sometimes when we speak, the right word doesn't click in English. This happens, right? This happens, I think, with everyone. So what is your advice on that?
Okay. So I would say, what works here is if it's English, which is a challenge, then of course we should first accept that yes, it is a challenge. The more we keep on thinking that no, I can still manage it, I am able to cope up with it, you will not be able to learn. So you will have to first accept that yes, there is an improvement area which you need to work on. And now, how to do that? I would say the rule of five works here. Now, what is that rule of five? First is to refer dictionary. Each one of you can have just a pocket dictionary. It comes this small.
Yeah, we have apps these days in phone.
Exactly. So we have in the digital world, you don't even need a dictionary. But what is needed is a paper and a pen. Okay. So any five words which you refer from the Google, which you refer from your phone or your pocket dictionary or whatever the source is, you need to just write those five words and their meanings. I know it is something which you might think, okay, I'm in college and you are telling something which should be followed by very small school going kids. But there is no age of learning. Okay. So the moment you start writing those five words, you will be confident of using those five words and start seeing that what is the use of those words. So you have written words, you have the meanings of them. Now the next thing is you have to write five sentences using only those five words, which should be grammatically correct. You can put it into Grammarly, you can definitely check what is the grammar or the error. And once you start gaining those confidence for just, even if you do it for 1 month, you will see what kind of repository you are storing for those words. And just start, memorizing them also. That will give you confidence in this fluency which comes into picture. It's not always that each person use the right word only. It is many a times, they also correlate with some simpler words, whichever comes to their mind, right? And that's what is the trick, right? And I would say English, if it's a problem, then we should definitely start working with English. Even multiple times people read through very tough words, but they never try to find meanings of that. So I would say, even if it's a Times of India article, any news article which you are reading through, are you really able to interpret what is written into it? People just go through and they feel that, okay, I have done an article reading today, but it is not. You should also interpret and see what's the meaning of it. The more you are able to understand, you will be able to see that growth. And it's very small. It's not a very tedious activity. It will hardly take 10-15 minutes of yours, and you will be able to find that confidence. And this shows up within just few months, I would say. Hardly 1 to 2 months, you will be able to see a difference, and it will also come up while you are speaking in a on the go basis. When you are normally also speaking, you can start using them, and that will create the entire difference.
Perfect. So basically 5 words आप you have to identify जो आपने कहीं भी आज सुने पढ़े और उन 5 वर्ड्स का आपको मीनिंग पता नहीं था इसलिए वो आइडेंटिफाई करे हैं, उनका आपको राइट मीनिंग ढूंढना है. ठीक है. इजीली आजकल तो बहुत सारे ऐप्स हैं डिक्शनरी के और सिंपली यू कैन गूगल इट ऑल्सो और यू कैन यूज चैट जीपीटी ऑल्सो, मोबाइल ऐप में भी आता है. एंड देन यू हैव टू मेक 5 sentences ऑफ दोज 5 words, correct grammatical sentence, and then your target should be to use those 5 words in your daily communication, so that what you have identified comes into practice. And if you do this daily, I think 5 into 30, by the end of 1 month you would have 150 words. And 150 words, I know you might miss on few days to be practical, but still if you have 100 words after 1 month, and if you have used them, trust me, you will grow very fast in your English.
Definitely.
I know many of you sitting here thinks that your English is not good. Trust me friends, it is not like that. English is like any other language. Some of us have different native language, किसी की सिंधी है, किसी की कुछ है. So why you are expert in that? Because you have used it multiple times. Okay, same is the case with English also. The more you use it, the more you speak, the faster it will improve. Okay. And then again, we all of us, the vocabulary learning takes time. Okay. The more things you will learn, the more vocabulary you will get. As simple as that. Your vocabulary 1 year back and your vocabulary 1 year after 1 year today is different, correct? Why? Because you have come across some new words. Maybe it was on news, maybe it was in the books, maybe it was you heard somebody else. And that is why learning happens after joining a company very fast. Trust me, your communication would become very good after joining any company.
Agreed.
Why? because you
Speak.
learn so many words, you know,
Yes.
daily, and you know that is where everything from small things, you know,
Exactly.
how to start a meeting, how to end up a meeting, how to ask for a break, so many small things that you basically observe and you see, अच्छा इसने ऐसे बोला था मीटिंग में, ऐसे ब्रेक लेना होता है, ठीक है. सो यू लर्न ऑल दैट सिंस यू आर अ पार्ट ऑफ अ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, तो बहुत जल्दी आप सीखते हो.
There
बट
you
इफ
do
यू
not have any option actually.
करेक्ट, या
So that's where you start
या
learning it even faster, because you also have to place yourself in a certain manner when you are dealing with your stakeholders.
करेक्ट करेक्ट राइट. वहां पे यू डोंट हैव अ चॉइस कि चलो नहीं, ये मतलब का क्या बोलते हैं, इसका इस शब्द का मतलब समझ में नहीं आया तो चलेगा, ठीक है. आई टेल यू माय ओन एक्सपीरियंस. वी जॉइंड टीसीएस, ओके, एंड एवरीबॉडी यू नो हैज अ सेम स्टोरी, राइट, ठीक है, सबकी अपनी वोकैबुलरी होती है. आई वाज ऑन अ कॉल विथ माय सुपर मैनेजर, माय मैनेजर्स मैनेजर, ठीक है. ही वाज ऑन अ कॉल. कुछ तो यू नो देयर वाज अ वन I would say blunder that has happened, and somehow we were involved in that. And the discussion was not definitely good. It was, a bit heated. You know, from the other side, we have no choice. You know. Okay. So he then suddenly called. I said, no, it was not my mistake. It was somebody else's mistake. He said, patch him. I said, what? He said, patch him. वो मैंने कहा, मेरे को आई कुड नॉट क्लिक. एक तो इट वाज अ यू नो मोमेंट ऑफ स्ट्रेस, यू नो, यू आर इनटू अ हीटेड डिस्कशन विद योर मैनेजर बिकॉज ऑफ समबडी एल्स मिस्टेक, एंड देन ही सेड मर्ज कर भाई उसको. फिर मेरे को लगा ओके, यू नो मर्ज करने को पैच बोलते हैं, यू नो, पैच. मैंने कहा अच्छा अच्छा, ओ. सो दैट इज हाउ यू नो you got introduced to a word. एंड देन ऑफ लेट आई रियलाइज, जितने लोगों को मैंने देखा है कि लोग साइंस के वर्ड बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हैं उनकी मतलब कम्युनिकेशन में, जैसे कि यू नो देर इज नो ग्रेविटी इन दिस आइडिया. ग्रेविटी इज अ वर्ड ऑफ फिजिक्स, वी आर यूजिंग इट. ग्रेविटी आइडिया में ग्रेविटी नहीं है. मैंने आई हैव स्टार्टेड, फिर मुझे ना धीरे धीरे समझ में आया कि इंग्लिश इज not a very rich language compared to Hindi, where you have a unique word for everything.
Yes.
But that's how people use it. And then people, लोग कैसे कैसे मतलब वो करते हैं words use. I have seen, so Saksham, you know, we have to do the cross pollination of ideas from different region. Cross pollination. Pollination happens in biology in plants. Okay, so cross pollination of ideas. मैंने कहा wow. So then I also started understanding कि you know you can use any word, any, you know, and then जो अच्छे से बोल गया, you know, वो सही होता है. Okay, there is nothing right and wrong. And then देखो, ये जो आंखों की जो बीमारी होती है, पास का नहीं दिखना होता है ना, उसको बोलते हैं मायोपिया, ठीक है. So you know, I was a part of a meeting. वहाँ पे किसी ने बोला कि we should, you know, do something, we should do this. Then the other person said, this is, you know, this is a very myopic vision. मैंने कहा अच्छा. Again another scientific, you know, science word is getting used. So then I realized कि things are like that. You know, you have to understand किस चीज को कहाँ use किया जा रहा है, and with time you see different people using different words differently. Okay, and then you also started using it, and then some people listen to you and they started using it. So it happens like that. So ये बात सही है कि even if it is a scientific word, and today I see a lot of people are using a lot of scientific words, you know, even in you know normal talks, ठीक है. तो एक ये मैंने observation देखा, and after learning from this observation I have also started, you know. हाँ, let me give you one more example, ठीक है. This was very recent from CSR. So we have to present a PPT to a client, ठीक है. It was a very big client, and then we have a design team. You know, when you go for big meetings, you know, your PPTs are refined by the design team, because of course you would be representing TCS. And then, you know, one of our very senior leader called me, Saksham, we have to prepare the PPT. I said that has to be done by the design team. And then he said, no, they will only do the cosmetic part. This is interesting, right? Cosmetic is into beauty products, and then, you know, so basically, you know, he was saying कि वो सिर्फ touch up करेंगे, कंटेंट वंटेंट तो अपने को ही बनाना है. एंड देन आई रियलाइज कि हाँ, सो कॉस्मेटिक कैन ऑल्सो बी यूज. So that was again an observation, and then maybe मैंने भी शायद I have started using that word later, but yeah, see, that is how it is. Okay, so yeah, vocabulary, I think, but yes, see, this happens with time, but if you have to, see, we, all these suggestions are for you to, you know, to improve a little faster. Okay, all of you would have 4 5 months before your placements. Okay, and I have seen this. This things takes time. This things doesn't happen overnight, and these things are not tasks, but these are basically habit building. Okay, these things are basically habit building, and I think I also had this habit of, अगर मुझे कोई कॉल में कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, कोई मीटिंग में कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, मैं उस टाइम तो चुप रहता हूँ, नॉट टू शो कि मुझे ये नहीं आता है, बट आई इमीडिएटली गूगल दैट कि what is that, and that is how the words started getting added in your vocabulary. Okay, so good, Shruti. I think this was a fantastic tip. And बहुत बार ये भी होता है, श्रुति, कि आर्टिकुलेशन करना थॉट्स का, दैट इज लिटिल डिफिकल्ट. यू आर एबल टू थिंक कि यहाँ पे क्या बोलना है, लेकिन उसको आर्टिकुलेट करना becomes, basically articulation happens in sentence, but you have some words which you want to use and say your answer, but उसको एक articulation, मतलब एक अच्छा सा अच्छे सेंटेंस में पुट अप करके वो करना is little challenging. So what's your, see, all these things I'm asking you from a point of view for answering an interview.
Yes.
Or it is not about a prepared speech for sure, or it's about a group discussion, where you are given the topic just a few minutes
Yes.
of time.
Yes.
So वहाँ पे you have idea, but you are not able to articulate. So articulate करने के लिए what is your thought?
Since you talked of group discussion, I will quote in the real time example. So I was appearing for a interview along with the MBA grads, where I was just an engineering graduate. So that was a pool campus kind of a scenario where all the courses students can be seated into. And the first round was group discussion, and that's where it all started. So there were around I would say 15 to 16 members sitting on the table, and they all started shouting. Okay, each one of them was saying a point once. It started sequentially, and then somehow it became into such a haywire manner that they all started shouting simultaneously, and you are not able to listen it to anybody. Now, what I was doing during that duration, I was not part of that shouting thing. So first and foremost thing that comes into place is listening. What I was doing is active listening. When somebody is quoting a point, when others were giving their own opinions, views, I was all just writing or just listening to what can be, framing my own point. And that's where I started with the sentence or a phrase, summing it up all. This is what has been mentioned. And the entire audience it was all silent. And now, basis on all of this, I added a new point. So only two things work when you are trying to speak or answer anything, which is, one is your value creation and another one is value addition. So what I did was, I just did the value addition by summarizing what has been said on the table, and then I started with the value creation just to add a new tangent to the entire discussion. And that is something which is giving a different flavor when somebody is observing you, as a participant of group discussion. What they will do is, they will note that how the entire things can be aligned into this manner, and this is going to create a greater impact. And when we talk of articulation, I would say it all starts when somebody asks you question. So now, for just now, if I talk of what is happening right now, when Saksham is asking me certain questions, I start framing the solutions in my mind, that what is going to be my take on it. So listening is very, very important. And then when you talk of articulation, it is just a skill of how you want to sell your story. It's all about storytelling. Okay, there are multiple things. I would say there is no right and wrong answer to multiple scenarios. but you will definitely have your own examples. You would have seen somebody pursuing certain things. It is not always your life examples, but it can also be something which is just relatable. It can be your friend doing it, it can be your seniors doing it, and that relatable things also helps you articulate better. You can link it to anything which is around you. It can be your environment, it can be science, it can be your own region, it can be basics of very minute things which you can relate to. And in our ecosystem we do have too many things, right? Even if it comes that you don't find anything, speak about your culture which can relate to it. Okay, and it is very very deep and dense, I would say. So it comes up with all that, how you relate, and relatable things, it makes your task easier, and it helps you articulate it better and present it in a way that it tells a story. Because it's also said that facts are told but stories are sold. Okay, so why stories? Because everybody is interested into the plot that is building around it. So it's not necessary that you articulate every time the right thing. Rather tell what is there at your mind, and the person will definitely appreciate your honesty and take it up. So this is also very important.
Perfect. And I think those who have been attending our training would have uh, remembered that I have been telling you, make your introduction a story. So when you make a story, people wanted to hear more, hear more, hear more. Whereas when you just speak facts or give information, it feel like when will you stop? See, everybody, is a human being, and all of them have same mentality. If something is happening, something is somebody saying it in a form of a story, everybody would like to listen more. There is no formula that how much you speak. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If it's a beautiful story, people would keep their ears open and will feel like yo wow, thodi der aur chalti. And then no, if it is just bombarding of facts, I am, people will feel like ho gaya. So basically, you have to make it interesting firstly at your end, and then only people will finding interesting. So whenever you have to articulate something, be it your introduction, be it your experience of internship, or be it anything, okay, make it a story, which people like to hear. Don't make it boring. And like she said, our stories, facts are told, stories are sold. Yeah, yeah, correct. Nice one, Shruti. uh, so Shruti, I think very good insights. Now I want to ask you, like, since you have been on this journey of improving your one more important thing is that she talked about listening skills. It is very important. I tell you honestly, from the interviews experience I have taken, many times we ask something else, students answer something else.
Yes, that happens.
And that is more disappointing. Then we say, did you understand what I'm asking? So there are high chances, if you have understood it correctly, if you have listened it correctly, that what is asked, then there should not be problem of articulation, because you will know whether I know this or don't know this. If you don't know this, you can say no, I don't know this. If you know this, you can definitely answer what you have understood out of the question. So what is happening in this discussion? Are we prepared for it? No. Right? Shruti just messaged me in the night, share me the address, and then she is here. Okay, it was a working day for her, and again, I don't believe in preparation. So, how we are discussing? We are listening to each other responses carefully. Okay, though I am sitting here, but I am listening, and I am, not just listening, but I am also creating some kind of imagination. When Shruti was saying, her class used to start at 6 p.m. So I get into the zone of 6 p.m. Okay, कैसा होता होगा ऑफिस से. So मतलब मेरा एक इमेजिनेशन भी साथ में बनता जा रहा है, एंड दैट शोज कि मैं बहुत ही अच्छे से सुन रहा हूँ, एंड आई विल नॉट मिस ऑन एनी पॉइंट. So listening is very important, and trust me, people are poor listeners, very poor listeners these days. And poor listeners then definitely cannot be good articulators. Okay, तो if you think आपके साथ articulation का problem है, then improve your listening skills. क्योंकि ये भी सही है, group discussion में लोग अपना ही point सोचते रहते हैं. They are not there, what is being discussed. अगर if you are there with your all mind कि क्या discussion हो रहा है, maybe ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि आपको वो टॉपिक नहीं आता हो, but you can make out something from what others are saying by good listening skills. ठीक है, तो ये listening skills से आपका presence of mind भी बहुत अच्छा क्या बोलते हैं होगा. And this is one thing for sure, people with people who get selected into top companies with very few positions have good listening skills. जो problem solving वाले questions होते हैं ना, वहाँ पे तो और ज़्यादा क्या बोलते हैं, you should be very active listener कि you can get deep into the problem. ठीक है, because in interviews there is of course already there is a little nervousness, and in that situation you have to hear the questions properly, and then sometimes interviews also stare, that also disturbs your listening ability. So बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती हैं. So I think we should try to work on our listening skills. Maybe this is a homework for all of us कि just think about how good I am at listening others. Okay, right? See, there is one good app जो I have been telling you to use, Josh Skills करके app है. So when you use that app, you can speak to a stranger person, who is also improving his English. So वहाँ पे when you go for such discussion, try to listen more. And I think by listening more, you can, I think, have a better responses. Okay. All right. So Shruti, I think you have told enough about how, what all things are required to be good at public speaking. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me some mistakes that you remember that you have done in this journey, which you are embarrassed about, if you can share.
Okay. I would say embarrassment and regret is something which I do not personally take up. Okay. And now, to share about this story, I would say, how many of you remember your first step that you took? Or at least the first word you uttered? Anyone who remembers? No. Okay. How many of you remember the first time you were addressing somebody being on the stage? Yeah. Now we have a raise of hands. Okay, so I would share my story of when I first, was on the stage, and it was back in class 5th that I got an opportunity to participate into a inter-school poem recitation. Now, an internal evaluation was done to decide that this candidate will represent our school at a inter-school competition, and I was, selected for that. I did lot of preparation. Everything went well, and I was supposed to share poetry on books. I prepared it very well. I did that also. I delivered the entire poetry. But what I did was, there was a very important line that I missed, which was just the introduction, even before I start with the actual poetry. And that was a very powerful line, and I missed it, and I lost the contest also. And that line was, books are a window to the world. And that created the entire, it could have created a larger impact. But what happened next was, that time I was disheartened definitely, because that was my first competition and I lost it. But afterwards of that, what happened is, I realized and understood that how very important it is to even note the minute of the details. So that was just a very simple line, which actually could have transformed the entire results. But that was more of a learning to me, and that's where I started that, okay, even if you commit mistakes, experiences is something which is shaping your journey. There is no right or wrong. There is no, I would say, win, success or failure. Every time you get an experience, and this was just a very small mistake which can be done by any kid of 5th standard, right? And that occurs across. We should also not keep on blaming ourselves when we are committing a mistake. It happens across also. And even in Toastmasters, I would say this happened that I was supposed to deliver my speech for a contest in a certain format, but I did completely wrong, and I evaluated the entire things, okay, out of not knowing the format of that particular contest. But this is something, it was actually a blunder, but I learned it. Afterwards of that, I never committed that again. But this is something which is actually shaping up your experiences, and this is called as experiential learning also. So every time you fail, take it as a learning, take it as a challenge that yes, this has made me do it. Do the root cause analysis, understand what went wrong, accept it and move forward. Don't just get stuck that, okay, it's done, now I will keep on doing this, I will not move ahead. So that's, I would say, some of the
Good,
mistakes.
Shruti. I think that makes a lot of sense. Ki when it comes to things like public speaking, there is nothing like win or lose. ऐसा नहीं होता है कोई आपने मिस्टेक मतलब अच्छा नहीं बोला है तो आप हार गए या बहुत अच्छा बोल दिया है तो यू आर वेरी सक्सेसफुल. There are times when you are good. There are times when you do blunder mistakes. There are times when you are completely blank. ठीक है. तो ऐसा नहीं कि वो moments पे you lost. Those are learnings. Those are your experiences. You have to go back and reflect ki why that happened, and how what you can do so that the next time it should not happen. Okay. So I think it is about building on experiences, collecting all the things that didn't went well, and improving ourselves always. Perfect, Shruti. Any more you have? Any or blunders you want to share? Or no, you don't look
Nothing as
like a person who
such.
commits a lot of blunder. You looks very serious person. So far from your journey, who can do an IT job, who can also do an MBA. So I'm sure you would have very few. Uh, Perfect. So, Shruti, just want to now ask you few things about your corporate journey. Like, which are the major challenges you have come across that you think you should also share with the students sitting here, and what are the skills that you think that has helped you a lot, and what they should take care of at the same time.
Okay. Talking of the corporate, while I was getting trained, it was clearly mentioned that corporate is a world where you are responsible for your actions, and you are the one who is going to take charge of your entire journey. There is nobody who will come and tell you that this is something which has gone wrong, or this is something which you should improve upon. You are working as an individual who has to learn skills, implement it, commit mistakes, or achieve success, and then again, reiterate the same. You are definitely a person who is taking a lot of responsibility. There, you are presentable to your customer, to your client, to your own team. Your peers look up to you, your manager, everybody you are answerable and responsible for. So that's where the entire transformation journey comes into picture. When we talk of this transition from college to company, it's really difficult. And when you start experiencing it, it shows you, what kind of differences came in. Because if I talk of my experience, when I enter as a fresher into a team where I had all the people 3 years plus 7 years, 10 years across, now how would I get my presence established? So you will have to also see that how you place yourself across amongst the team members. First is you should not shy away seeking help. As I mentioned, even before the session when I was interacting, seek help at the right places, because if you do not know the requirement itself, how will you make a deliverable go? So that is very important that you be vocal of what is needed. Second is start taking credit, because doing work is one part of it, but how you portray and start representing what has been done is very very important. The moment you start doing it, you will take credit for your job, and that will make you feel empowered. This is something which most of the people forget doing it. They
Correct.
just keep on
Right.
doing it, and Saksham, you also will resonate to it, because it's very important that the more you do the things, you also need to portray and showcase them to others, that this has been done, or this is something which is the ownership lies with me, you have done it. So this is something I would say I have learned it through the experiences, and I would want to pass it on to all of you, that please make it a practice, and this will take you longer. So that's majorly, I would say.
Correct, that is true. I think students who comes from small cities, that is very common with them that they don't take the credit. They do the hard work in the background. Okay, but in corporates, it's very important that you show it also that you have done something so that others understand that this is something which is your creation and your brainchild, and it comes with experience. But I think what one thing that would help you is I'm anyway making you all to write LinkedIn post. Okay, that is a small activity which is similar to showing up your work, showing up your ideas, taking up the ownership ki ha, I have written this post, I have come up with this idea, I have suggested this solution. I think, so maybe this would be a good start. And tomorrow, when you actually join a company, you can, you could work on some best projects and you can do the same over there as well. Okay, so I think, Shruti, I am done with my questions. Now we will leave the floor open for our audience. So uh, just follow the protocol of sharing the mic. Uh, Maybe you can ask your question, Ashutosh. For you, I will. Uh,
How to improve listening skill?
how to improve listening skills? That's a good question.
Okay. So when we talk of listening skills, it's not always necessary that you will get a topic of your interest. Sometimes the details which is being given by the speaker, that is not a subject of interest to you. But what you will have to do is, it becomes more crucial when it's a topic which is not of your interest. See, anytime when you are interested, you will definitely listen to the content. But you should also realize that you are already uninterested into that topic, and you will not even listen to what the speaker has shared. It will create problems for you. So I would say that when you have to become a good listener, you need to also focus on what is happening right there. Multiple times we are all stuck in our own thought processes, so we need to stop doing that and be actively present into that place, and that's where you will already get halfway there, where you are starting to develop interest into what you are listening. Just focus on what is happening right away in the room. That will help you. So
Correct.
yeah.
I agree with Shruti, and I would also like to add कि to improve your listening skill, you should be in the moment. आपको उस कॉन्वर्सेशन में रहना पड़ेगा और दैट इज ऑल्सो ट्रू कि आपका दिमाग भागता है. ठीक है, तो वॉट प्रैक्टिस आई डू इज आई ब्रिंग माई अटेंशन टू माई ब्रीथ. So even in this conversation, I'm speaking to Shruti, I'm looking at you, some of you are drowsing, So और कुछ कुछ चल रहा है, गाड़ियों की आवाज भी आ रही है. So there are so many things to distract. But given my, with experience I have learned, so I just started focusing on my breath so that I don't lose my, attention on what the other person is saying. So इसको बोलते हैं mindfulness. Okay, there is a lot of work which is happening around mindfulness, and there are some good books also. You be in the moment, feel your body, focus on your breath. So this will keep your focus and would definitely help you to listen the other person better. Okay.
Yeah.
As you discussed that you are introvert earlier, and what are the steps did you use to be a public speaker while you are introvert that time?
So
Okay.
you are still introvert, or how do you call yourself?
I would say not, I would say ambivert now, because what is the need? I speak as per that. It's not very vocal, but yeah.
Okay, that's
So I would say, how to improve on that is, I would say normalize it. Okay, the more we become conscious of what has to be spoken, whom we are addressing, and all of those scenarios, it will create a problem for each one of you, us present here. So normalize the conversation, even if it's an interview, even if it's I would say, a long speech delivery. You need to be very comfortable with it. Although, even though you do not feel it normally, you will have to ensure and just remind yourself, no, this is a normal scenario. I can cope up with it. This is simple thing which can be done. And the charity begins at home. Start speaking to your family members. Okay, they will also start supporting you. The moment you start speaking to them in English, they will not object that, okay, why are you speaking in English? That is not going to happen. So start from the smallest of the bit that is available with you. You live with the family members or your roommates or your colleagues. Anywhere you can start it off, right? And there is no challenge in doing that. So it can be even just one single person whom with you can speak like this. So just bring it that normalization for it, that accept it that it is there, and just proceed with it. So there is no harm in being an introvert, and there are people who are very successful doing these jobs being an introvert also, completely depending on the people skills, I would say, and that's where it is. So yeah. Yeah.
Ma'am, you were talking about EQ.
Hmm.
So I am also very low at EQ. How to increase it? But how to make at least up to the level?
Okay. See, there are various techniques of improving EQ. You can definitely read through it, but when we say that it is important to practice them also, okay, there is no meaning of reading the theories and books if you are not able to implement it. So first thing is divide your entire set of things into small bits of it. So let's suppose if you are feeling very annoyed or angry over a situation, okay, there has been scenarios where even if it's a delay in flight, people start screaming. Now you imagine what is the mistake from the staff. They cannot bring the flight on time, right? It is not something that can be done. But what makes other people to be calm and the ones who are screaming is that particular moment. You have to deviate and sit back for that moment. The moment you think that you want to scream, don't do that. Take a glass of water, have a sip of it, and then after 5 seconds you will be able to handle it in a different manner altogether. So this is, as Saksham also mentioned, mindfulness is very important. So the moment you are into an emotion where you are not able to control it, try to do a simple act. You just have to sit back and take a glass of water. Before shouting on anybody, you just have to do that. And you will see the transformation. Then slowly it will become your habit. And you will start doing that, because it's just the heat of the moment that you actually start doing that. Nobody is actually planning to be angry or arrogant in that manner. So that's majorly how you can start with it. Start practicing it in your day-to-day habits. There is no one rule that will fit all, but start with what you can do.
So that's true. I think delaying negative emotions actually helps. I remember there was one of my manager, and then in corporates also, we used to have fights. We have escalations. We make some some people who becomes a rival. So it happens. All these things happens at workplace. So you get a mail from a person, and that is so provoking that you just want to literally abuse that person. How you have done that. Okay, and and you are into all position as well. It's not like somebody is very senior, somebody equivalent to you in another department have said you something on a mail, and then you feel like how we can say that. Then that manager used to say, hold on, don't respond to this mail now, go for a bio break, go for a break, come back after 5 minutes and then respond. And there was a huge difference. There was a huge difference, in our thoughts. So whenever you feel like beating somebody up, don't say I will not, say I will do it later. No, there would be difference, because the moment you say no, the moment you started controlling the emotion, it becomes more aggressive. So always say yes, I will beat up that people, but later, later, and then then you will also settle down and think, okay, why to waste my energy for this? Perfect. And then students have low EQ, Aditi. So it's not just you. Youth is the time where there is most instability in the biology itself of the person, and that is why it's common for not having a balanced EQ.
So I have one more question. So मैं मतलब किसी चीज को concentration का मैंने अपना up to the level करा, तो max to max मैं 30 मिनट तक बैठ पाई कि हाँ ढंग से एकदम concentrate होके सारा ध्यान के पढ़ लूँ. But मैम के हिसाब से मैम 5:30 to 1 तक बैठ रही है, तो it's
No, it's definite. No, it's she's the outlier. You understand? She's the exception. Even I cannot do that. I don't, trust me. I'm in your club. Okay. So she is the outlier. So don't consider her as the benchmark. There's something wrong with her. No, we are perfectly normal. No, you have to understand this. We are perfectly normal. The human mind cannot focus more than 21 minutes. That is a research also. Okay, it's need refreshment. And I think you have done 9 minutes more by doing it for 30 minutes.
वो तो हो जाता है ऐसे कि हाँ इतनी देर बैठ के पढ़ लूँ.
Okay, so there is a strategy around it. Okay, the more you are cautious about कि you have to study, it will not come in. Okay, you have to reimagine of what you are doing. Okay, when you are saying that you are studying, it not need to be only reading. Okay, do that for just 15 minutes, and another 5-10 minutes do a different activity, and then again you can focus for even longer time when you come back to that particular thing. Okay, because it's a study also. If you look at it, there are multiple things. Okay, you can put it up into gamified manner. Read the things in a way that you are explaining it to somebody else. Okay, all of these strategies also comes into picture. So concentration is not something that it will come all the way long to you, but it's how you perceive, how you divide it across, how you bit it across into different activities that can shape up that. That's how it is. It's not a rocket science.
See, it's a very different topic, but just to throw some light on this, basically your mind become focused, at a different stage. It's not
Yes.
like when you start picking up reading something, it will immediately get focused. So initial 5-10 minute struggle is something where you need to play some tactics with the mind, and the music can be the one, not the songs, but the silent music, the instrumental music, so that can bring your focus. And once you get inside that, you can focus for long. But that, see, you are coming from outside, and then you are coming to room, so all those inertia is there, of class, college, bus, commute, and then you started reading something. It is very difficult to shift that inertia. Like, for example, you understand inertia, correct? If something you stop suddenly, there is a shock we get. So same is the case that happens with our mind also. It requires to change its inertia slowly, and people do it forcefully, and that is where it becomes a problem. You need to be a friend of your mind. Okay, you need to be the friend, you don't have to be the controller. If you control it, it will more wander. Yes. And then everyone's mind wander. Wandering of mind, दिमाग का जो भटकना होता है, is very normal, and that's a part of your evolution. मतलब अगर आपका दिमाग भटक नहीं रहा, there is something wrong. मतलब that's a part of growth of your body and brain. ठीक है? Yes. Next question.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Avantika, and my question is, ma'am, most of the time when we are giving any presentation and public speaking, and the audiences are familiar, we got more nervous and more conscious. So, how to overcome that?
Okay. So this happens, multiple times even, and in the experiments also this has been shown that the most confident speakers, this get nervous when it's their family members or relatives sitting in the audience. So this is a proven thing which happens across. So now, first thing is, as I mentioned, right, normalization is very important. First thing is, you will have to believe that it's not, it's not going to impact, be it your principal sitting, be it your colleague sitting, be it your peers or anybody else. So you will have to, it's all the game of mindset. Okay, there is no specific strategy or tactic towards it. Second is, you need to put your focus on the content which has to be shared. Even if it's your friends or relatives, the actual essence lies in the message that you want to give them or what you are trying to deliver out there. They are sitting there, you should appreciate it, that yes, they are all here to just listen out to you. That should actually give you more strength, that you are presenting in the people, in front of the people who are related to you, who are looking up to you, that okay, this is somebody whom I am knowing, and that person is going to come and deliver something great to us. So it should rather encourage you. You should not really think of it in a manner that you will stop speaking out there.
Ma'am, I also have another question, and my question is, ma'am, most of the time when usually we have to ask questions, we started reframing in our mind, and still we are doubting that we should ask or not. So, is it correct or not? We have to reframe
This is the
it,
rule,
or
that there is no correct or incorrect. Okay, there are questions, there should be question, in fact, that could actually challenge us also when we are also answering. It is not something that we do have a definite set of answers or suggestions or solutions for everything. There should be questions that should be asked, and that's what I mentioned, right? You should not think of that this is the silly question, this is a small question, this is, there is no definite measure to do that. Have anybody defined any scale of doing that? Nobody has done that, right? So every question is important, at least not for others, it is important for you. So just start grabbing that importance and start putting it up. So yeah,
There's no question which is wrong.
exactly.
No question is a wrong question. Answer can be wrong. So always ask your questions.
Hello ma'am, I am Shasti. Ma'am, I want to ask how to overcome the nervousness that we get during public speaking and also the self-criticism.
Okay, I would say not self criticism, but it is the self doubt. As I mentioned, you should understand the fact that, I will say, you will not get up to a certain level. But when you talk of nervousness, it just comes into place when you are doubting on yourself. First is you will have to understand this, that it is not really needed that you deliver the 100% what you have written or what is something which you have prepared. You should get the essence of it, put it up into bullet points where you just remember that particular point, not the exact words around it. And that will give you that confidence that even though you are not remembering that sentence which was to be shared, but you know that bullet point and now you can build it around it. Okay, so you can build a plot around it anytime when you are doing it. So always just have that confidence in you that this is not going to actually hamper the entire speech, because what happens is you have just forgotten the 10% of it and you are ruining the entire 80% of it what you have spoken because of that particular 10%. So that's how nervousness plays.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any activity that helps us to speak fluently?
Shadow practice, I would say. Now, what is this shadow practice? Shadow practice is something, record your own audio, try to listen out to it, and then you will be able to see the flaws. You yourself can figure it out. You need not have any new mentor to do that. So, that will actually build confidence also. You can start speaking to yourself, and there is no harm in doing that. Nobody is going to cross question you. It's up to you how you become more familiar with it.
See, I have been telling you people to record your own selfie videos. Okay, and that is because of this reason only, right? So that you can hear yourself. I didn't know this is called shadow practice, but I somewhere knew that this actually helps. How many of you do that? I don't know. You do that, okay? That is good. Good. Happy
I
to.
also did that during presentation.
Nice. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Shailesh, and my question is, you are an area director and lead HR. So, how you can manage your time and being a management student? What are the tips that you give for the time management for us?
Okay. So time management, I would say what you have to remove is procrastination. You should not delay the things that has to be done, because when you are doing multiple things and when you will start parking it up that okay maybe we will do it later, that later is not going to come in. So you have to prioritize your things, and second is you will have to give exact slots of how you want to manage your work. So if you define that 2 hours you have to just study, dedicate those 2 hours to just study. When you say that you have to give only 1 hour, that is just, even if it's as simple as watching a series, just do that. Don't skip it because I have a lot of work. Okay, divide your slots, define it in a manner. When we speak of creating a timetable, right, it seems very childish, specifically to the new generation. When we look at it, it's very old school concept. Creating timetables, routines, it is not going to impact, but it actually impacts. Just start dividing your slots in what you have to give. Divide as per the priority. Okay, when you are most active, you think give that the priority one task to there. If you think that you are inactive at that time, do something which you are interested into, and you also have to do some low priority things. So all of those scenarios you will have to utilize. It's very simple, not a big, I would say, strategic move that you have to bring in for time management.
See, one thing I want to add here is, please understand, everybody, procrastinate, and everybody feels that they are lazy. It's not like that the best of the people, right, Shruti?
Yes, it is.
Correct?
Yeah.
Despite we do a lot, we still feel that, okay, we could have done better. So there is nothing wrong. The only thing is that, what I believe is that, we should also think about taking breaks. See, this is a catch. You have to understand. You have to plan to take breaks. And what does it means? That you will do all your refreshment in that break. What happens is you do work and you also parallelly do your refreshments. Maybe you are watching social, you are watching reels or something. No, when you take up a work and stop it and take a break. This will give you a lot of energy and interest. When you take up a work, do it with full focus and then take a break, take a equivalent break, and trust me, this will give you a lot of energy and a lot of refreshment also. For example, all of us study at the last moment before, one day before the exam. See, I'm telling you, if you want to retain the best, in that one day, you have to study for 1.5 hours, then take a break. Then only you will be able to retain. If you are somebody who started just by the fear of feeling, bhai ab nahi padhe to gaye, so very difficult to recall everything, and that is why I know students write some other answers in some other questions. So everything get meshed up. Yeah, next question.
My name is Arjun. I just wanted to know, I saw you speaking in a consistent way. We are having the content, but still we won't take it longer. We get mug up and maybe we just lost the momentum. So how we can cope up with that?
No. You before you start, I just want to say you are seeing a Shruti's version, which is very experienced and which is very refined. So the first thing is that Shruti, when she was a student, must not be what she is today. Okay. So in the first place, it would not be right to compare that, you speak so diligently, so fluently. Of course, she would be, after coming from IIMs and then Toastmaster area director. तो कंपैरिजन ही गलत है. ठीक है. हाँ, कैसे आए वो डेफिनेटली कैन बी ए क्वेश्चन, बट इट कैन नॉट बी लाइक मैम आप इतना अच्छा बोलते हैं, हम तो बोलते नहीं है. अरे तो मैम भी तो कभी आप थे, राइट? नो, विच इज ट्रू, बट आई एम टेलिंग यू समटाइम्स वी थिंक कि we how can we also become such expert immediately? No, it would be a journey. Yeah, Shruti.
Okay. So first thing is, this is, we will have to accept that we are not going ahead with the pace, and it is up to every individual how you can divide it into a manner that you speak for it. Okay. You can be a very slow speaker also. I have seen various people who are experts, but they speak very slow. Now, this clearly shows that when they are speaking, they want to be correct, and that's where they are taking some time to think over and then deliver it. There is, as I mentioned, right, there is no one particular rule that fits all. So it's up to you how you decide your pace. If you are confident in a topic, subject area, go ahead and keep speaking in a fast manner. But if it's something which you want to, really give some more time, dedicate and divide it, and then accordingly go ahead with. It's up to you how you put it forth. Nobody comes and tell you that, okay, you have to share it in this manner, you don't have to share it in this manner. So that's majorly about it. That's how I even learned. And I would even quote one experience that happened with me. I was preparing for my mock interviews while being in college itself, where for placements itself I was preparing
Engineering MBA.
engineering. So what happened is, there was a practice, I would say a drill within the college itself, that they used to arrange mock interviews for you to understand that what is going to happen there. And a professor who used to be normally teaching us everything, but that time he was placed as an interviewer in front of me. And you imagine, I was asked only the subject's name. Okay, the 5 or 8 subjects that I was studying in that semester, I had to just name those subjects, and I fumbled up. Why? Because nervousness actually took that entire confidence out of me, and I was not able to cope up with it. So this is all sometimes the moment also which you are into, and how you are practicing about it. It's all shaping it up. So yeah. Yes.
Like you talked about, in those 2 years, you were dealing with a really hectic schedule. You started in the morning, working till like late night. So my question is, how did you deal with your sleep?
Okay. So talking of this, see, again, what happens is, as Saksham already mentioned, that's where breaks come into picture. Okay. It's not something that you can be productive to 100% level at all the times. Okay. So even if it's a 15-minute nap, that is going to help you, right? You take coffee breaks, you take, lunch breaks. There are multiple things. You can go for a walk, and there you can simply, or maybe just a 10-minute conversation with your dearest friend, you can sit and speak, and that will bring you that energy back, that will give you that motivation, that again now you can keep on working. Of course, there are multiple things. As we say, sleep, again, it matters. Okay, this is not something which you should take in one only. Okay, so it's depending on 6 to 8 hours ideally you should sleep. You should definitely not compromise on it. But again, as I mentioned, right, what is needed, what is the priority of that particular hour? So go ahead with that 1 hour. Don't extend it to a certain extent that you cannot focus on others. Do not just stretch it to another level. All of these scenarios also comes into picture. When you say 2 hours study, you should do it. The more you will try to multitask in the same that 2 hour slot, it will create problem for you. So you need to be focusing on one task at a time, and then it will streamline the entire things. Yeah.
Whenever we think about IIM student, then we have to think that the level of the student of IIM is very high. What are the extracurricular they did that time? And as you mentioned that your routine was very hard. It's with the all student of IIM or some student.
See, there is no first thing, this conception that level is very high is wrong. Okay.
Guys, hear this carefully. What she's saying.
Because there is no one level that is defined. I also come across from a background where most of you would have come in. Okay. There is no one scale or measure that will put you up to that level. So, first thing is you will have to understand that each individual studying in any college, any school have the equal potential to excel and succeed. Okay. And you will have to understand that there is no specific supernatural powers that is driving it. Okay. It's all a sincere set of efforts that has been put to achieve a goal, and that's where it's aligning for that person. This is not something, I would say, already a made up thing. Okay. Even the greatest of the leaders, they are made here. How? They are polishing on skills, they are consistent with what they are doing, they are actually believing in themselves, they are not again and again cross questioning that you cannot do it. If I also go and tell me 100 times that you cannot do it, definitely I will not be able to do it the next day. So that's how it works.
Ma'am, I have a question on all these problems that I feel during public speaking, whether it's a nervousness or anything else. There is a one main reason behind this, the feeling of being judged by the audience. So, how to deal with this feeling of being
Okay. And now you tell me, this also comes up in our homes, in our society, in our normal culture setup as well. So first thing is you have to be least be bothered about what others will judge about you. You should be only answerable to yourself. How will you perceive after giving a particular speech, or if you are giving an interview? How will you answer yourself is something which should matter you the most.
बिल्कुल इसका उल्टा होता है, whenever
Exactly.
we do public speech, we immediately come out and say कैसा लगा, कैसा बोला. If it is good, then okay.
Exactly.
Otherwise, this is the habit that you are building upon taking, feedback from people, and this actually make you feel nervous.
But there is a, I would say, thin line between feedback and validation.
That is
Right.
true. That is true.
So-
But the way we do it after a good speech is like, I did something, very big, and you tell me, you validate that. The sense of validation that we seek from the audience, I think, makes people nervous.
Exactly. So this is something which I also used to do as a practice, and then one of my senior in the organization itself told me that you, whatever you are doing, just believe in yourself. Okay, you need not seek validation. It hardly matters what somebody else have perceived. You have given your 100% efforts, and then you are telling it to yourself that you have given your 100%. Then it does not need to be validated every time. You cannot ask for a certificate for doing certain things. No. So that's how it is.
Just to give you an example, I also went to Toastmaster Club and giving and giving feedback. And despite I say I speak good, they find some faults, okay, you have said this, you have said that. And that I used to feel, okay, I have spoken well, but there are still, mistakes. Then I have left going well. Because simple reason, I want to be in a illusion that I speak well, because the moment I started focusing on those small mistakes makes me more conscious and do those again. And with time, those things have already gone. But yeah, again, seeking validation from other people definitely makes you vulnerable to nervousness. And that is where Sister Shivali's quote, I have chosen specifically, that talks about that your confidence comes from self-belief, not from external validation. Okay, right? Okay, sir.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Khushi Salia. Ma'am, as your journey was truly inspiring and filled with struggles and must be very hectic as well, like managing both studies and work together. So there must be things that keep you motivating for doing things. Like there must be situation when you were feeling like I'm just give up and feel very exhausted. So what that thing that which keeps you motivating all the time?
Good question.
Okay, so first thing is I'm really thankful to my parents for the upbringing that has come in. Okay, there have been times when I do not believe in myself, but they are the ones who will definitely believe. Similarly, I would also want to share that my circles also, like my friends or my peers or colleagues, okay, their belief also comes into picture. So what happens is there would be time where you simply broke down, you want to just leave all the things, and that's where you need to actually remind yourself that there are two choices, that either you quit or you start moving on again with the scratch. So when you are starting from scratch again and again, it builds you more stronger. When you will simply keep on thinking that okay, I am stuck here, let's just quit it, because quitting is an easy option. So you will have to make a tough decision there, that although I can quit, but I want to actually bounce back and show the world that yes, I can again conquer it. Even though if you fail, you can again start from the scratch and build it on.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, last question. Yes, Kirti.
Hello, ma'am. I am Kriti Banwar.
Yeah.
Ma'am, my question is you said do shadow practice and recording and all to enhance your public speaking. But no matter how well we do by ourselves, but when we get really into public speaking, we are not able to cope up with that. So,
Okay.
how to
So first thing is, I understand all of these strategies are there, but still we have these questions that will I be able to really perform it well? So as I mentioned, right, you have a group of set of people with whom you are, parallelly working together to achieve the same goal. Okay, so it can be a group of your friends from where you can start in. You can practice it in front of them, because the friends are the best critics, I would say. The more they can provide you criticism without any fear of judgment or anything, it will not come from anybody else. So it can be as simple as that. You can start with your family members, you can start with your friends doing it, and that's where you will start gaining confidence, because they are the I would say actual people who know you in and out, and who will be able to give you the actual critical feedback that you seek in from outside, that a stranger might not be able to give you. So you should be ready to accept the constructive feedback and take it up ahead. So that will polish you to an extent that when you face a external audience, you will be able to put it front to them.
thank you, ma'am.
That's a good advice. I think we should be with the people who are on the same journey of improving their public speaking or communication. So that all of us know that we are here to learn, and of course, we will do mistake. And when you do mistake, you don't feel like okay, I have done a mistake, because we are here to learn, and others are also learning. Being in a group of people, who is also working on their public speaking and communication, I think would help you pretty. Okay, so with this, we would like to conclude our discussion. I think it was a very, very interesting talk. Shruti, personally, I enjoyed a lot, from all the examples that you have shared from your entire journey, and a lot of insights. I think I have also learned so many things, and very good questions from the audience as well. So thank you so much, and I think this is a journey, which Shruti is also, there on, and everybody is improving their public speaking or communication, and it would go on, lifelong. And yes, with all these expert tips and suggestions which Shruti has given, let's try to integrate, because I have seen, we hear so many things. To be honest, you open Instagram, if you are somebody who's searching about public speaking, communication, English, Instagram also suggests you, those reels, right? Yes. YouTube also suggests us those videos. So, and people did speak very deep things in the reels. Now people speak deep things. I have seen this. Sometimes I say this is very deep, but still, why we are not changing? Because we are not, acting. Okay, the changes happen for the people those who do, not those who just listen. So I think this session will be fruitful for you if you even take a small action out of the learning that you have got. Don't go for everything, trust me. But take a one action from this discussion, that happened today. It could be maybe taking 5 words, if not five, 3 words, right? Or something else, maybe, not to seek validation. Okay, so there are so many things, which we have to, which are there that we have heard today. But let's take up one thing and practice it for 1 month, and trust me, you would be a different person after 1 month, right? So please have a one action point from this discussion, which you are going to do for the entire month. And I would recommend you take a small one. Let's not have high aspiration and give up within few days. Let's have a small action item and work on it for 1 month. And I'm telling you, good habits are addictive. Once you start work with one thing, the other good things will automatically come in. Okay, so I think that this would only make the session fruitful. Okay, so with this, we would like to thank you, Shruti, for taking all your time and coming here and sharing your insights and helping the students. Thank you so much. And with this, we conclude the podcast for this podcast. And for more such podcasts and video, please stay connected with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.